the tone-deaf bard. Apparently, he wants to hear all about our adventures in Nodcry. Maybe we can get some tasty treats out of him in return. Come on, let's go to Star Snatch Cliff.
Welcome back, old friend. And how should I be addressing you these days? The honorary knight of Mondstadt? The Tumaini of Natlan? Or the great hero of Nodcry?
Well, you sure have your finger on the pulse. We've barely caught our breath since
News travels fast on the wind. But before I can turn your tales into tunes, I need to hear them from the horse's mouth. My wine and my lyre are at the... Amazing! Incredible! So I'm guessing the wild hunt is a thing of the past now that you've defeated the Rehir of Solnari.
Seems that way. We were kind of focused on dealing with the doctor, though.
Well, that's good to hear. Hey, now that the Northern Abyss calamity is finally... I haven't seen him in the longest time. He must have so...
Hooray! Paimon was wondering about that, too. He did call you Barbados. But weren't you still fast asleep back when he was in my...
let's call it half asleep. I was resting my eyes in the Thousand Winds Temple one day when I heard a commotion outside. It was a young knight who had journeyed there in search of trials and oracles after hearing some tall tale. In fact, all that awaited him were moss-covered walls and an angry ruin guard. But he seemed completely unfazed, laughing heartily as he sent the ruin guard's missiles flying off into the horizons.
Ha! They must have been making quite a racket if it was enough to wake up the tone-deaf bard.
Yeah, it sounded kinda like...
Hey! Is that all you... Oh, bring it on!
like that.
Giving up already? You're not half as tough as Varka said.
A young knight of Favonius trekking out to the Thousand Winds Temple in search of
A bard in green... I was just wondering,
Oh! So you were looking for the tone-deaf bard? Strange place to start your search.
Hold on. Blonde hair, white hair. You must be the... Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lowen, Vice Captain of the 5th Company of the Knights of Favonius and a member of the Expeditionary...
Oh, so you're part of the expedition, huh?
That's probably because when the Wild Hunt was still running rampant, I spent most of my time out on my own. Then, once the Wild Hunt calmed down, I got sent back to Mondstadt.
No wonder we never saw you while we were dealing with the doctor.
Deliver some letters. There's one for the Knights of Favonius, one for the church, another for the Dawn Winery, at least 10 of them.
Jeez, how many people has he sent to deliver his mail now? Mika, Inefa, Lowen. He should just hire a full-time mailman already. In fact, he's earned himself a new nickname. Let's go with... Sir Writes-A-Lot.
I'll have you know that poetry and letters were humanity. So, tone deaf or not, I wear the title of Bard with pride.
Wait, really? Darn it!
Anyway, since this young man has come...
You sure are.
This one is for the bard in green clothes. Doesn't really have an address as such. You could start by asking around.
I figured that since there was this punching bag here, oh, sorry, ruin guard.
That Varka is so slapdash sometimes. It's a good thing we happen to be nearby.
Oh, he also said to remind you to write back.
Nothing in particular. Just some idle chatter between two drinking buddies. Varka gave you a whole bunch of letters to deliver, right?
My thoughts exactly. Assuming I can find the way.
Well, why don't we have Mondstadt's honorary knight escort this homeward bound wanderer to the... Let's go!
Thank you so much, honorary knight.
The abyss. The wild hunt. Andreas, get home safe, Varka.
Why do my ears feel so... Surely there's no way anyone found the secret stash of cash in my office. That would be terrible.
Grandmaster, bad time to get distracted.
Watch out! Enemies approaching!
Huh? Oh, it's just a few stragglers. They're no real threat to us. This expedition is almost over. We just need to deal with these final few targets, and then we will make our triumphant return! On me!
Stormwind!
Without the ratio of Solnari to direct them,
If this is all that the Wild Hunt can muster now, surely the Lightkeepers of Night...
Just like I thought. What we should be wary of...
Grandmaster, based on Lightkeeper intel and our own reconnaissance.
Good. You know the drill. Stay here and stay...
Yes, Grandmaster!
We meet again, Andreas.
So, you've returned from Mondstadt. Don't you want to see what it looks like now? I was planning to take a look around there myself. Perhaps you could be my guide.
What's this? An echo from 1,000 years ago? Everything seems normal so far. Here's hoping I'm just overthinking things. There are two It's your turn, my friend. Come, Andreas!
Although, for returning to your old home, perhaps Andreas is a little too ostentatious. Might be better.
Boreas.
Huh?
Injustice. Corruption. Iniquity. Is the surface world still as wretched and foul as ever? Answer me, heir to the knighthood of Boreas.
Looks like I'm not getting out of this without a fight. That's where things stand with the expedition. The victors will be returning home soon, so make sure to stock up on wine for the celebrations. P.S. I hope everyone's keeping up with their daily training. I'll be testing you all when I get back to make sure no one's regressed. P.P.S. I wrote individual letters for each and every one of you. Don't forget to write back.
That's
Everyone gets one? Wow! Sir Writes a Lot is really living up to his name.
I guess the Grand Master must have something specific to say to each of us. Even I got a letter, and I'm not a real knight yet.
Jean?
Oh, yes. That's our Grand Master for you.
By the way, anyone know where I can find the cavalry captain? I have a letter for him as well.
You mean Kaya? He said he was meeting a friend from the church at the Angel ship, allegedly for work. Said he was exchanging intel. But I'd say there's a 50-50 chance he's just there for a drink.
Hi, Mom Bess. There'll be lots of familiar faces there. How about we do...
Really? Oh, that would be a great help, thank you.
Our thanks to you too, Lowen. The other knights will help distribute the remaining letters.
Great, but I won't be resting just yet. I heard that another challenger recently passed Boreas' trial. Well, with any luck.
Very well, but please remember to show respect to the local wolves.
I will. Goodbye.
Grandmaster offered lots of advice in his letter regarding my recent assessments. I didn't think he'd spare a thought for that kind of thing in the middle of an expedition. So, honorary knight?
He wants to test me to see if my skills have regressed? I still haven't forgotten how he went easy on me last time. I'm assuming you must have seen him going all out before. When the time comes, you'd better keep an eye on him for me.
Ah, the Grand Master. The archives are filled with documents awaiting his review. On another note, have you spoken to Jean? I hope...
Okay, we'll deliver these letters to the Adventurers Guild and the Cat's Tail.
The expedition is finally wrapping up. Oh, I hope...
Hello. May the Animo Archon protect you.
The Grand Master wrote in his letter that the boom blossom bombs we sent worked really well.
Uncle Varka's coming home? Yay! I can't wait to go outside and play with him.
The Grand Master wrote in...
Uncle Varka's coming home? Yay! I can't wait to go outside and play with him.
Honorary Knight, you're still here?
Huh? But Varka's coming back?
True. From what you and Lowen have told me, it seems that Mondstadt no longer faces any threat from the peril. And yet, for some reason, I can't help but recall something the Grandmaster said to me before he left.
If I don't make it back from this expedition, you'll have to assume the mantle of Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. If it comes to that, remember to train the next Knight of Boreas in my stead. I've planted some promising seeds in Mondstadt, but they still need time to grow. Some have yet to master the art of social interaction. Some don't yet understand that they too need protecting. And some, well, some might not even want to be a knight yet. What's wrong? Well, there's no need to frown. I'm going on an expedition, not marching to my death. This is all just a contingency plan in the event that I'm unable to return. Until I return, I leave.
The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in Mondstadt's history. The first wandering knight to claim the title arrived in Mondstadt 1,000 years ago, along with his wolf companion. He was as free as the wind. He left no succession plan behind. Even his name was lost to history. The title of Boreas could have disappeared from Mondstadt just as he did. But he had an informal disciple, a knight named Ravenwood, who admired the Knight of Boreas great when the old aristocracy tried to regain power. Ravenwood came once more to Mondstadt's defense. From then on, the title of Knight of Boreas was passed down from generation to generation within the Knights of Favonius.
Wolf spirit? You mean?
Correct. As you may already know, and the Knight of Boreas serves as an intermediary between Lupus Boreas, who had never known what it meant to love, came to understand it through the journey with his human companion. In the end, this was once a well-known tale in Mondstadt, but these days, few people are aware.
Huh?
The great Wolf King of the North came here from Nodcry, although he doesn't like to speak of his past. In fact, he rarely shows himself to people at all nowadays. As such, this tale can only be found deep within the night. The Grand Master didn't disclose any concrete objectives before departing on his expedition. I kept my speculations to myself, however. You experienced the turmoil caused by Duval and the East Wind's actions for yourself.
No wonder Varka wasn't clear about his motives.
Very possibly. He was probably also reserving judgment. Having heard about your experiences in Nodcry, I now suspect, and as it turns out, the calamity born in the north wasn't an ancient god, but rather the Wild Hunt and the Doctor. I guess we were both jumping to conclusions. Yes, I completely agree. The tide can turn rapidly in times of battle. It's a leader's responsibility, even if his contingency plan never needs to be put into action. Thank you for being such a patient listener. I feel if you have any spare time, would you mind stopping off to say hello to the other?
That turned into a pretty long conversation, huh? We should probably go deliver those letters to the angel share now.
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then drain out the water before...
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years at least. You'll have to offer something a little more substantial if you're serious about trading.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential info.
Kaya! Rosaria!
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
A little liveliness never killed anyone.
Please allow me to once again express my sincere condolences regarding your late father and the incident with Eric. I hope you will give some serious consideration to the question I asked you before I left, though I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ask by now. The Knights of Favonius will always welcome you.
From the look on your face, I'm guessing...
He nags like an old man. It's hardly surprising.
Huh? Drop what? What's this about?
Nothing, really. Before leaving on the expedition, Varka came here to chat with me over a drink. I failed to avoid him. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius, and I declined. He expressed his regret about everything that happened.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skip a...
Whatever details I chose to omit are in the past.
You say that now, but back then, you couldn't let it go.
I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then. But my answer remains unchanged. Both the Grandmaster and the acting Grandmaster are too upright and honorable. I can't see the shadows that lurk beneath them due to the size of the organization they lead.
If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument. I actually don't disagree with the first part of what you said.
When you join an organization, you're bound by its rules, no matter how free it may seem on the surface.
You think so? Never mind the Knights. Have you honestly ever been bound by the rules of the Church?
Good question. Have you considered that maybe that's why I chose to join the Church and not the Knights to begin with?
Are they arguing or not? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, kind of like the contingencies Jean was talking about. The more ways they have to protect their home, the better. Huh? Traveler?
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been subjected to all this tedious arguing. When I write back, I'll tell him to quit making trouble for other people.
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work. We just volunteered to do the last leg of the journey. Mostly so we could come say hello.
So you see what's really going on here? All three of us fell for that old rascal's scheme far too readily.
Huh? Scheme?
No. While I'm sure Varka knows full well that Diluc would never agree to rejoin the Knights, I believe the sentiments he expressed were genuine. There are people like Kaya and I, and then there are those who are true champions of justice to the core. Those people are the most susceptible to being driven to extremes by not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. That'll really hit home for Varka. And that's why his nagging is even more persistent than you. Yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas had nearly been extinguished twice.
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this?
I happened to hear about it from Varka once when he was drinking and started yammering on. The second crisis in the Knights of Boreas lineage. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and wolves, of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas, Ravenwood, the wolf pup Rostam, and Varka himself. But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the might. He was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled. His name was Roland, the blood-stained knight.
Yikes! Blood?
Well, apparently his original title, but he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500 years ago. The endless bloodshed stained his sword and armor a crimson as deep as... After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters. It's hard to say whether the loss of an important figure in his life is... But had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always... So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never say... After all these years, he's still...
Huh. Turns out Varka's a... Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas business that Paimon isn't really getting. If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? Plus, Paimon's super curious about what happened. That's a great idea!
What should I report back to the Grand Master on? Let me... Public order inside the city? Monster activity in the wild?
My reply won't be a long one. As
What's going on here? Was the Wild Hunt? What are they doing here? Watch out!
Busted. Here comes the catch.
Wayne.
Loaded. Time to test the bomb.
A moonlit night for all.
Game's up. Game's over. Gotcha. Into the shadows. Busted.
A new moon rises.
Here comes the catch. Get loaded. Turn. Shoot on sight. Game's up. One's over. Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Wayne.
Ready.
Oh, are you all right? Oh no! What now?
Stop right there! Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
2 letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Paimon passed a test?
You may dispense with your suspicions.
Well, if the boss of Wolvendom has vouched for you, I guess I should apologize for doubting you just now. Sure was. Fortunately, my experience in Nodcry did something seems wrong with that old wolf.
Lupus Boreas, not injured.
You are not to blame. They followed my trail from the distant north across the ley lines. They sought to corrupt the territory. We meet again, human Lupical.
So, are you saying that the Wild...
As you know, I stand before you as an incomplete being. I am but one remnant of the source of this turmoil.
Huh? Now Paimon's even more confused.
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andrius, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise...
Huh? The bard's back?
Tone Deaf Bard?
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. For it appears that someone is in need of a tale from the distant past. Who better than a bard to do the honors?
As you wish.
Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Seelie Hall. Enchanted by their song, tender as the dawn's starlight, and curious about the ways of humankind, the wolf bade farewell to his home and set off for the city to the south. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, Lupus Boreas, who once had hunted with the storm winds himself, looked within and inquired, was the shelter he provided for humanity really any different from that given by the reclusive king in his tower? The wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god and quietly returned to the frozen north. 500 bitter winters passed, then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a night stumbled in from the cold. Just as Lupus Boreas had once done at the Seelie, the night asked the wolf to join him on a journey south, to see once more the land that had all but faded from his memory. The gentle wolf, unwilling to refuse the humans' seeing how the ice and snow had given way to verdant plains, hearing the laughter and song that now filled the once somber city, the aging Lupus Boreas turned to him. So, this is the world the humans dreamed of. Though the night's journey was not yet over, the wolf chose to bid farewell to his companion here. He had written the end to his story. What knowledge he had been gifted flowed into... Well, that's how a bard would tell the tale.
There is no need for you to act.
So that's what happened. You returned to Mondstadt with that night.
You need not. If anyone should feel regret, it is the part of me who remained in Notcry. That is surely why those vile aberrations were
But we followed Boreas' trail in Notcry.
Andreas should still be slumbering by the lakeside. And there's more. I detect another...
Oh, the White Knight who became the Bloodstick?
I remember him as just a man. His lifespan should be no longer. It was the ancient kingdom of Conria, as you call it.
If you want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to, as luck would have it, another old friend of ours just so happens to be free.
No wonder I can suddenly sense the east winds present.
If even Mondstadt has been affected by the fallout, not
Varka.
I believe too many passengers would slow our dear friend down. I fear he only has room to...
All right. Wish it could be me, but I accept that we should... I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt that try harassing Mon...
I stay in Mondstadt.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, give this token to the current knight of Boreas. It is a wolf spirit. It contains...
The dominator of wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pack, strengthening their hearts and sharpening their claws.
But human hearts and flesh cannot bear the soul of a wolf directly. To prevent the entanglement of souls, the most... Although, truth be told, that knight does not lack for power. What he... The great wolf king of the north remains...
I will protect...
Just give me the word whenever you're...
I can read Varka's letter.
A wolf's claws make poor instrument.
I sure didn't expect my experience fighting the wild hunted Nodcry to come in handy back here in Mondstadt. Also, how come that bard knows so well? Whatever. I don't really care. As long as I get...
Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. The root of this turmoil lies with the remnant soul that Andreas, he once left Nodcry. Instead, He returned to the north when the wolf spirit could no longer maintain his physical form. Any questions before you set off? 500 years ago, Roland seemed destined to become the might. He believed firmly in his own ideals of chivalry, vowing to neither his mentor, the wolf pup Rostam, nor the Grand Master, known as the Lion of... But what was the scent that reeks of blood that Lupus Boreas sensed? And what is it? Any questions before you set off? The soul of a wolf is as... But human hearts and flesh cannot contain this. That's why Lupus Boreas developed the technique of imbuing weapons with his soul. In fact, there is an ancient song that tells this tale. A weapon once of common iron, now through friendship turned divine. Twixt man and wolf a bond was made, a power born within the blade. As much as he might claim not to accept humans, his actions sing a different tune. Any questions before you set off? Better. All right. Over to you, Dvalin.
The Knight of Boreas awaits below. We must part ways here. Barbatos and I have other plans. We will meet you again later.
All right. Hey, wait. How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse!
Grand Master! It's...
Haha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And Paimon too!
We're just about hanging in there. Most of their grunts are taken care of now. Fight or flight? What will it be, mightiest Knight of Boreas?
As expected, this hastily summoned Wild Hunt horde is nothing but but they have served their purpose. I farewell, heir to the knighthood of Boreas.
Guess they're retreating.
So that Wolf of the North lookalike, that was Andreas? Ugh, forget that.
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we could do. True. We're still not certain of his true. Killing him might be just about pop. The difficult part is...
Huh?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's... But, compared to Rerir, our current foe clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Exactly. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing as we speak. Meanwhile, we still have some big challenges ahead.
The meeting's probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them?
Hey, good to see you again. Oh, Boss Sneff asked me to pass on a message. She went to see Lauma and Columbina at the Frost Moon Scions. Apparently, there haven't been any change.
That means the recent Wild Hunt attacks have nothing to do.
They're keeping a close watch on it just in case. With so... Oh yeah, Lauma and Columbina asked, you know something? These Knights of Favonius are paying me a pretty nice sum to deliver a few simple messages. Varka's a generous guy.
Short distance propulsion module on cooldown. 15 minutes until next switching to chat mode. Hello there, Paimon, Traveler. Varka placed a sizable order with the Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop. Aino is hard at work producing the strategic reserve, while I am handling the deliveries. Secondly, I am also here to attend the meeting in her place.
Huh? Flens! Paimon thought the Lightkeeper's rep would be Itlua or Nikita.
You're quite right. However, Itlua and Nikita are both, and since I'm well acquainted with everyone else here, I was... sometime...
Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like Beto and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here? Great. While we're waiting, could you update me on the... And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Reikir of Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes. Intel from the Frost Moon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets
Summarizing current situation. To confirm,
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrias' spirit, namely Roland.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some monstatter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the... For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed that new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the Roland replica can't possibly imitate Rerir's overwhelming power, nor his ability. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Berea.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andrias as he slumbered by the bank of Imsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic?
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Tevat.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you...
You can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix...
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, in that land, the passing of the Pyro-Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andrias who remains in Mondstadt has...
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus... Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end of its time. My soul will fall into silence, and my... Do not grieve for me. For... A fine...
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas' final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines.
Sounds like Andrias spent thousands of years searching for his place in the...
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but...
Wait, we already have a perfect solution?
Ha ha ha. If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword strong.
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruption to Mondstadt's ley lines. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first Knight of Boreas, many wolf spirit fragments were left behind. If we can collect those fragments, we...
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left. Most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait.
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning not just the wild hunt in the abyss, but ancient.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making.
As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection, but I can't take credit for it. It was all thanks to the help of a few friends. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. It sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Nodcry, and use them to make the thought within this sword, according to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt. His form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means, but of course, we've been tied up fighting battles since the day we set foot in Nodcry. First with the Wild Hunt, then with the Doctor.
Okay, so...
I managed to gather one fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location. As for the third fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on. The final snag is that since our foe is a replica of Roland, he too will be aware of Andrias' history.
With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty.
And since the Wild Hunt is involved.
The Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it though. I mean, who actually reads those things anyway, right?
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this payday wouldn't come that easy.
I'll deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The moment you make any progress with Fragment 3, be sure to give me an update. Traveler, could you join me in retrieving Fragment 2? I have a feeling that your unique constitution might come in. All right, time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed!
Speaking of contingency plans, I now recall that Varka perhaps I should ask Aino.
Remnant fragments of an ancient god. Thoughts stored inside a blade. Then again, the enemy can harness the Wild Hunt to spy on us wherever we go.
Yehoda, you dummy! You took the stupid job of your own free will! Crying isn't gonna get you.
Didn't you say Fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and keep your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Can we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment? Looking for?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is transfer it to my sword, just like back at the camp, but this time, you'd best step back.
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either. Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends.
No, you're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the Abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Varka!
Sure enough, this place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should... Purifying the abyssal corruption would definitely... Could you try reversing the corruption? Not...
So, keep the Roland part intact?
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, to view Roland's memories. As they say, know thyself, know thy enemy. Understanding our foe is our... Let me think. How is it explained to me? Ah, yes. Focus on a single thought within the 1,000 winds. Capture that unique wisp before it blows away. Ha 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 ha! Actually, neither do I.
Huh. Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaning.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind. I'll explain it in more human terms. Traveler, when you were in Natlan, you went fishing for ancient names, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river flowing with concepts, and you were trying to capture the concept belonging to a particular ancient name. I'm thinking...
Okay, but back then, we had a bow and a net. This time...
This wolf spirit fragment is like a puddle compared to the Night Kingdom. No need for a boat.
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. They can separate love from hatred, and they can bind objects and events together. Thought is the anchor for a being's existence, through which emotions are drawn forth.
Also, we barely know anything about Roland.
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old.
It's an unsent letter, written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas, from 500 years ago. It was meant for his disciple, the White Knight Roland. After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, Roland left Mondstadt to wander to Vat. Grandmaster Arundelen had wanted to deliver this letter to him. But trying to track Roland down was like chasing a shadow. He never...
Quite the antique, then.
Yeah, I'm on...
Hey! What happened to Mr. Plans for
What can I say? Some people like to wait till they've got all their ducks in a row before taking the first step, but I prefer to dive on in and plan as I go. But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely. Whoa!
You really are making this up as you go along!
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed, just like he said.
If what you say, the monsters I've slain, a great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, the code of chivalry tolerates not such if abyss be thy name, I pledge.
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite ironic, Knight of Boreas.
That I, Dainsleif, while we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. Could it be? So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, Roland ventured underground and saw a revelation from the visionary. Once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice, giving them his knowledge, his power.
Uh-oh. Does this mean we have to take on the
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would, but even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss with you. Well, the fewer people who know, the less likely it is to get leaked. Besides, it wasn't... That about covers it. No plan is free of risks. At least this one actually gives us a shot at fully eliminating the danger posed by this ancient god. Surely that's got to make the risk worth taking. If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins. Not to mention we still have Jean and Monst.
Oh, there has to be another...
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one.
Hey! Are you guys done here yet?
Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've successfully retrieved...
Nope. It's a total disaster! More Wild Hunt monsters than I've seen in my whole life! We need backup urgently!
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have to trust me on this one. What can I say? I'm not the Grand Ma... Fill me in. What's the situation?
We ran into resistance.
Good call. Locating the Wolf Spirit fragment is our key objective.
Well, it seems the enemy figured as much too. Before we ran into trouble, this is the search area we decided on. The two teams are holed up here and here. They should have a clear idea of the fragments.
But the Wild Hunt is stopping them from relaying messages back, right? Do we have any more troops of...
We can't spare troops from any of the fronts right now.
The logistics company is standing by.
Hanefa!
Designated drop point reached. Initially, the logistics company was assisting Aino with the production of the strategic reserve. But after learning of the situation on the...
Amazing. Just in the...
Hey, seeing as you can fly and all...
I regret to say that without the workshop's catapult, and with my short-distance propulsion module on cooldown, I will only be able to return to the battlefield after another. The logistics company has very limited provisions, only enough for a single battle. Which team should they support?
Both. Once one team has been rescued, the remaining forces will be free to support the other. We'll move out immediately.
Sure thing.
Something's not right. The Wild Hunt's offensive doesn't seem to be getting... Don't get dragged into the enemy's rhythm. Logistics company, scout out the area. Look for terrain we can use to our advantage.
Yes, sir. Reporting in, sir. We've identified viable sites for...
Good. Wait for my signal.
Logistics company, deploy!
Grandmaster! Honorary Knight! Goodness you're here.
Be careful. There's no end to these monsters. However many we kill, more keep coming.
Just as I thought. Well, they're about to get a shock to the system. We'll wipe them out faster than they can replenish their numbers. We just have to hold on until the logistics company is ready.
Is that the signal to say they're ready?
It's showtime! Fall back!
Yes, sir.
The enemy has sustained heavy casualties. Should use this time to catch your breath.
Yes, sir. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
That's not exactly very narrow.
We split the search area between us and the Retniki.
Either way, I was about to go lend them a hand next in.
Absolutely.
We've run right through our supplies. We'll stay here and deal with, now that they've lost their numerical advantage.
Ugh, looks like the same situation here. They just keep coming, wave after wave.
Reinforcements. Hey, you keep them busy while we work on getting rid of this god-awful
Understood. Everyone got that?
Yes, sir!
Just a
Thunder!
Hey, they're running out of speed. Now's your chance.
Affirmative. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's their source. It was hidden in the mist. If we destroy that, the Wild Hunt won't be able to summon any more reinforcements.
Knights of Favonius, charge! Thunder! Warrior sweeping in! Up the ante!
Ooh, I'm glad that's fine.
Brave Knights, on behalf of...
There's no need to be so formal. When it...
Very well. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
Yes! Now it feels like we're finally...
I'll say. We're sure to face fierce resistance from the Wild Hunt, though. Is everyone willing to keep fighting with us?
It would be our pleasure.
Much obliged. The hiding in the mist trick again. These guys must be easy. You all know the drill. The Knights of Favonius will engage.
Yes, sir!
Lightkeepers, prepare to dispel the mist.
Knights of Favonius, charge! Master! Charge!
This wild hunt doesn't know when to give Traveler.
Mr. Varka, leave this to us.
Just like last time. Only a night of...
Don't underestimate us, Grandmaster. We can hold...
Ha! That's the spirit. Stay on your toes and either we all march back to Mondstadt together, or no one does. The final fragment is right there. Don't let me down.
It seems you have
Yeah, and with no corrupted fragments or ambushes along the way.
A true knight does not resort to underhanded tactics. Were this body not a false one created by the Wild Hunt? If you need a moment to rest, take it.
Save your breath. If you want to fight, let's fight!
As you wish. Then...
Is everyone all right?
My granny fights better than these rookies. It's Egbert I'm worried about.
For a moment there, I thought I might...
Hey, stay put, you guys. Leave the rest to us.
Forget us. We can take care of ourselves.
You're the only one still standing.
We can't lose our Varka! Please! You have to find him!
You're holding back. Knight, this duel does no justice to the way of chivalry. I wield the power of a god. Your plan is doomed to fail. Andreas's question, Boreas's answer. The means to the false path may be wide. It's over. Your sword lies shattered. The wolf spirit and the thoughts you blindly placed your faith in have nowhere left to dwell. Join me and pledge your allegiance to the abyss, Knight of Boreas.
For the next part, it's over to you, Outlander who caught the wind. The sword is unbroken. Looks like I'm no longer in reality. There's no way back. And all that lies ahead is the wolf. Huh. A Favonius sword? Who left this here?
Lonely warrior. Take me to see him.
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. I have aided the oppressed and righted many wrongs. I have slain sinners and delinquents. I have slaughtered tyrants and demons. But however mighty one's blade, before the great injustice of fate, a mere mortal can but bow their head. There is only one way to save them.
Who are you really trying to convince? Is this the fairest shadow? It doesn't look like an imitation.
The title of Boreas must find an heir.
Try to keep up! Huh? The scent that reeks of blood appears to be getting stronger. Looks like I can just jump right over these obstacles. Try to keep up! Try to keep up! On me! Try to keep up!
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. Even the most fearless hero cannot fight what fate has ordained. And even the holiest god cannot escape the shackles that bind them. Lupus Boreas, if you still harbor love for humanity, then you must surely know. There has only ever been one way to save them from injustice. Surrender to the abyss.
Malicious lies! Stormwind!
Huh?
Maria sweeping in! Try to keep up! My old friend.
This is not where your path ends. You must continue on.
This wind feels less than welcoming. I'd better take shelter. Huh? I can't hide from it!
You must deliver it.
Your path cannot end here.
You draw near to the heart of the wolf.
Even if you had an army of 10,000 men, in the end, you must face this fight alone. Lonely warrior. Step forward.
Is this the heart of the wolf?
Roland! After countless bloody battles, trials, tribulations, and hardships, I, with my mortal flesh and blade, attained power to rival that of the gods. But you know better than I that a mortal's prime is fleeting. In 5 years, maybe 10, age will snatch your strength. The power you take such pride in will fade to naught, disappearing like dust in the wind. Your fame will be as fleeting as firewood beneath the starry sky, lit at dusk, dead by dawn, utterly insignificant.
Oh yeah? Be that as it may, the fires that burn down here blaze more brilliantly than the light of 1,000 stars.
They blaze for but a moment. 100 years from now, your earthly flame will be long snuffed out. And those you once illuminated will be left cowering in the cold and empty night.
Ha! No. They'll remember me in 100 years, just as I remember all of you from centuries ago. That's the thing about firewood. From the embers of a dying flame, a new fire arises, burning bigger and brighter than ever before.
Knight's duty is to save others, not demand things from them. How can one call themselves a knight while placing their hopes in generations to come?
Well, as long as I put an end to you here and now, I won't need to rely on anyone else. Now, show yourself, Roland!
Put an end to me? Your body and mind are already at the limit of what they can bear. It is only a matter of time before they yield and crumble. But if this is your final request... I shall do as you wish. Knight.
Huh. You're not quite how I imagined you.
Not once have I strayed from the righteous path. But when I look at you, I do not.
I guess we have that much in common. Neither of us are at.
The Rayhir of Solnari's forces have been defeated. And the Roland you see, I wield the power that Roland did at his peak. Therefore, and after redeeming you from injustice, and guiding you...
Huh. The world out there can bear no more of your torment. Your obsession.
No words can make a knight doubt his convictions. No, otherwise, why would you pin? But now the blade that once housed the wolf spirit has been shattered. And all you hold, you no longer have the means to change the situation.
Huh. Maybe you're partly right. But I think I might just have a shot at a rescue.
What do you mean?
There's only one person's mind I need to change, and it isn't yours. Forgetting where we are? This is the heart of Andreas. God. Andreas! Can you hear me? Wake up! You are the great...
If this is your final gambit, grand displays of heartfelt wishes can...
Return. Return to... Is this the answer that...
Andreas, at long last, I have delivered your
This is all that a wolf can hope to do for humankind.
On behalf of all humanity, I thank you, Lord of Wolves.
Boreas is returning to the ley lines.
Begging for miracles is a futile endeavor. I know better than that, but a sword is just one kind of vessel. There are other ways to store a soul.
The Dominator of Wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pack, strengthening their...
Even if it is not my intention, the soul of Lupus Boreas will...
If a mortal heart is to bear the soul of a god, this is a path that cannot be retraced. Yet, I shall not dissuade a knight from embarking on the quest of his own choosing.
Your heart, your soul, they are collapsing.
You were wondering how a lamb could tame the heart of a wolf. Isn't that? Here's my answer. You get the wolf to swallow the heart.
The wolf spirit within the sword was merely a decoy to avoid arousing my suspicion. You deliberately allowed Lupus Boreas' soul to assimilate your own. Then,
compared to Lupus Boreas' decision,
you have a stubborn will, and employed your soul is now merged with that of Andreas. Neither Barbados nor the Traveler you have lost, and so have I. Regrettably, may your soul rest in peace with Boreas, lonely warrior.
Haha! Lonely? Sorry to disappoint you, but as much as it sounded like the fact is that, unlike the true Roland of the Path, I'm not ready to accept my fate just yet.
Ding dong! You've got mail!
Until I return, I leave them in your care. The Knights of Favonius will always welcome you. Come on, to Mondstadt.
Dear Grandmaster.
To Varka. To Varka.
Family.
No pig call.
Poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts. Make sure they all get delivered, Outlander who caught the wind.
Master.
Varka. Varka.
Go Varka! Hey, Sarai!
For Varka.
The thoughts of others anchor you, reversing the assimilation. Using your connections, relying on outside help. This is not the way of a knight. The Abyss can sustain me no longer. But now, countless souls who died unjustly will emerge to prevent your return. If you believe in your path, then grant them release. Carve your way out through bloodshed. Varka, mightiest knight of Boreas.
This is how it ends. Throw the plan out of the window. Fight my way to victory. Well, that suits me just fine!
A knight is always true to their word. So please, keep your promise and return victorious.
You are not alone. Right back at you, Varka.
Up the ante!
The north wind blows southward. Guide you on your journey home.
Leave it all to me.
There's an ice-cold drink with your name on it. Ready when you are.
Don't go dying in a place like this, Varka.
Thunder! Freeze! Up the ante!
Fly home to us, Grandmaster!
Spread your wings and soar toward a new dawn.
Fate's chosen Varka.
Can't fall here!
On me.
One final battle!
back.
Varka, now I know the meaning of my name. After the lengths you've made everyone go for you, you'd better make sure to thank us all properly when you get back.
You know, I have a lot of things to update you on, but they can wait until you're back.
I have no intention of returning to the Knights of Favonius, but I trust you will find a way to manage on your own.
Grandmaster, we're all waiting for you.
I'm not doing too bad a job as Grandmaster, am I? I'll take that silence as your approval. Everything you swore to protect with your lives, it's all still here, safe and sound. The Knights of Favonius, Mondstadt, and the oath sworn by every knight. I'll protect them all with my life. And so, I'll deliver that letter on your behalf. I know it's just a shadow of the real Roland, but if you have the time, could you please read it for him? Rostam and Arundelen, they never forgot you. Phew. This has been one long expedition. From here on out, I think I'll let the wind lead. Hey everyone, it's been a mighty long time. I'm thrilled to see you all again.
Welcome back, Grandmaster.
Yeah, I'm home. It's been a while since I felt this wind on my face. Just how I remember. So, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Now's your chance before I get dragged off to the office. His sword was just a decoy. I carried his soul in my own heart. That was the second half, though. using everyone's thoughts to guide me back out of the ley lines? I wasn't too
All jokes aside, what would you have done if the Traveler hadn't?
Initially, I was planning to have Barbatos carry out that step. But when I approached him about it, he said there was a much more suitable candidate. Turns out our trust was not Then, I guess we'd have had to get Barbatos to send a wind to blow me back home. But it would have come at a heavy price, and with no guarantee of success. It's a good question. A glass of the finest dandelion wine, perhaps? No doubt I'd have to pay for it with a secret stash of cash in my office.
You're dreaming if you think it would have come that cheap.
It's been a while since I felt this wind on my face. Well, with the shadow of Roland vanquished, the Wild Hunt, a few knights will remain on rotation at the Nodcry stronghold. Albedo and Durin will come back with the first wave. It's been a while since I felt this my future. You may already have learned of this from Barbatos or the Hexen Circle, but I glimpsed a reflection of the future in Barbarloth's scryglass. Correct. Although, as things stand now, I believe we may have still, after I've tied up some loose ends with the Knights of Favonius, I'll need to make a— Besides, the first group of knights who volunteered to stay there have yet to be relieved of their duty.
Ah, how noble. But be honest. Wait, seriously?
I'm only pulling your leg. You'll be seeing a lot more of me in Mondstadt from now on. It's been a while since I felt— All right then. I'm gonna stay here and enjoy the breeze for a little longer.